So, besides Duolingo being probably one of the best language apps in the world, besides the fact that they try to sneakily make you, steal $90 from your bank account, which is absurd. Besides that, I wouldn't say that Duolingo's one of the best apps. Now, unfortunately, what Duolingo severely lacks is, oh, you did exactly what we told you to do. Well, it doesn't matter that you got the answer correct. We're going to say it's incorrect. Now, this happens rarely, occasionally, but of course, they don't want you to know that they'll make a mistake. So they'll just say you're wrong, and the second you try to take a screenshot or move forward, it will just autocorrect itself or change the answer to what it wants you to actually put versus what it originally actually had said. And as well as anytime you try to take a screenshot or report it, of course, the answer now changes to something else other than what it was. So that's a little frustrating. It's rare, but it occasionally happens. Also, when doing the app, it doesn't explain the rules of how the words are applied. Now, there's exceptions to the rule, which again are rare, but you kind of have to just infer that, because otherwise they don't tell you, they don't teach you how to use the words. They just say, hey, this is this word, and in English, I'm going to the store, it makes sense. But in Japanese, I've been told it's completely opposite. Store I am going to, or something. But then they contradict themselves and say, no, everything's still the same. We're just going to flip a random word around every now and then, and you're just going to have to get used to it. So it says, for example, it's asking a question, is that person da-da-da, right? Then they'll say, well, even though it says is, you're not going to start the sentence with is. It's going to be, even if it says is that, it's going to say, it wants you to put that is, soko wa, meaning that is, versus, even though the placement is that, making it a question. And the placement is very important, is what differentiates a sentence versus a question. Now, keeping that all in mind, this is exactly what they normally want me to do. When it comes to doko, it's a very, very bizarre word. It's the only word that I found in Duolingo that's the most annoying and obnoxious, that is inconsistent, more frequently than any of the other words. For example, watashi, meaning self or ownership, it will often say, watashi wa, my is, its ownership is. So here is an example. So when I normally am asked to use doko, it's like, okay, where is that person? Doko flips everything on its head. So it's now person that is where, right? But it's weird. Other times, instead of doing completely everything is backwards and playing word scramble, it will actually just do, when describing something like a shoe or something, it will say, instead of, let's see here, where is that person? And I put exactly person that is where, it's asking for, and this is a literal translation at the bottom, correct answer, that person is where. Even though it's not saying that up to here, it doesn't say that person is where, it says where is that person. So it is backwards essentially, but not the backwards of literally everything getting word scrambled, like flipping on its head. Or if you were to just literally take it and turn it upside down, read it upside down, basically. They're just flipping a couple words around, which is confusing because oftentimes you are required for it to be off its head, everything upside down and completely backwards. So not always, but most of the time it is person that is where. But occasionally it will do something like this with watashi, with anything time you're using wa, and other examples I've already previously given. So it's very frustrating when they just want to pick and choose when they want to apply the rule. There should be, now they do have tips when they're teaching you a new word. Oh, tip, and then they give you examples. That's great. But it shouldn't just be one and gone forever. That tip is gone forever. There should be regular lessons where it gives you that tip regularly, or a way to at least access previous tips. And unfortunately, it doesn't. It doesn't tell you how to apply it. You're just like, hey, here's a bag of words. We're going to give you a whisper. And if you accidentally press skip right away, or if you choose not to show the tip, it's gone forever. We're unforgiving and you have no choice in the matter. You're just going to suck it up, and we're going to throw things at you and say, this is because it is, and we're not going to explain ourselves. And sometimes they won't even give you a tip. And that's frustrating. And the tip is basically the entire lesson that you need to know to understand how to use the word appropriately. So that those who are taught wrong or have a misconceived understanding of what a word means or how it's applied, you have to understand that you just are stuck and they won't teach you. Now, I've reported several words where either they're misusing it, or in the case that I'm learning a new word and they don't explain themselves because they don't teach you how to use it, and like basically the game mechanics of how it's supposed to be applied. That's kind of important, because then you're gonna end up speaking backwards or maybe forwards from American to Japanese or any other language, because that's normally what it is. Americans speak forward and every other language speaks backward. Or maybe it could just be, since we're only language that's kind of opposite of all the other languages, then we're the only ones speaking backwards and everyone else speaks forwards. It is what it is. Tomato, tomato. It is one. English speaks left to right. Every other language speaks backwards. So it's whatever way you want to view it. It's American English is going to always be opposite that of all the other languages. So metric system versus the inch and yard and so on. So it's just keep that in mind, that the word will not always make sense. It doesn't always follow its own rules. There are bugs in the game that haven't been fixed. And yeah, you're not going crazy. You just have to basically suck it up and just deal with it. That's not much more can be said. Like, I'm trying to make a video and it constantly tries to shut itself down. And the second it goes to sleep mode, or, powers itself off to, sleep mode, or I have to press the power button, the recording automatically stops, which really sucks. And I don't set it up that way, but that's just the way it is. So, or so then I would have to start the video from scratch. So anyway, moving on. I hope you guys learned something from this. You guys are confused or want to learn more, leave a comment in the comment section below, and I will do my best to help you out. Until next time, guys. Thanks.